Okay, there we go.
There's
I
the
think
pier
it
again.
was. I think
Okay,
it was. Yeah,
so
that's the beach
here's
house.
Times Square. Here's what you're looking at. If just to give you the piers on the left-hand side of your screen, and what that little cluster of shops and buildings. It's a little plaza. There's the popular Greek restaurant. There's the Dairy Queen, where you see kids running around getting their soft serve. There's several ice cream places. You got the bathing suit shops, and they are like the building's just not standing anymore. It's truly Hurricane Ian changed what Fort Myers Beach looks like.
The U-shaped building was the Sandcastle Beach Club, and now we're actually working back a little bit, like you mentioned, some of those more residential areas. And now you're looking.
There's Dock Ford's.
Like I say, now you're coming up on Dock Ford's, and you got Dixie Fish Company, and the marinas that sit there. These boats are just piled in.
So this is on the other side of the bridge. This is like the Parrot Key area, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the very first boat docks over towards the Gulf Marine Yacht Works. And so there you can see the bridge, right?
Yep.
So we're coming around, and we're on San Carlos Island now, and it looks like right there,
That's the bay side, yeah.
We're going to go back to the bridge. The shrimp boats would be down here to the bottom left.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to keep the orientation here. We're spinning back around. That is San Carlos Boulevard. That's Main Street. And now you're looking at a lot of these mobile homes there along Emily Lane, Sanibel Seafood. Wow. So now we're coming in. A lot of these are.
That's where the shrimp boats are.
Your manufacturing homes. So that's where these shrimp boats are.
You can see them piled up there.
And it looks like they moved the shrimp boats on the interior part of the bay to protect them before the storm. That's Hurricane Bay there to the north, and it doesn't appear that it helped protect the shrimp boats. They are all piled up there in the corner.
Unbelievable. This is the area, if you've ever traveled by boat on the Key West Express down to the Keys, it's an area where so many people have driven through. Those shrimp boats, that's where the pirate ship. It's something kids have birthday parties on. So many people spend company holiday parties there. And look at that. The homes are just pushed on top of each other.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they're usually lined up right there, like you said, in the bay. The Trico Shrimp Market and the seafood market is there, but I think they moved the shrimp boats inside over towards Hurricane Bay to protect them. But now you're coming around. Are we going to see Salty Sam's and, like you said, Parrot Key Caribbean Grill here?
Yeah, I think that he's zooming out.
Okay.
And forgive us, we don't have direct contact. I don't know if our helicopter camera photographer in the helicopter can hear us, but now we're looking at, this is Bayside, right? And all of the small homes there. And keep in mind, these are old Florida homes, right? They're not necessarily, it's a lot of people who have owned these places for a long time. It's not a lot of new construction, probably not necessarily built to withstand the kind of storm that Hurricane Ian was.
No, so the water has obviously come up and over Estero Island. It came into Matanzas Pass, and I would imagine a lot of these buildings were lifted and they floated inland. You can see several RV campers there. These are not real well-built structures, but right there along the coastline, all you're seeing are what look to be toothpicks kind of sticking out over what is left of the shoreline. The seawall, no match to a Category 4, almost Category 5 hurricane.
Wow.
Just completely unrecognizable.
Yeah, it's hard to look at. It really is. It's just so sad. You just hope that people are okay.
See how those buildings were picked up and pushed into another RV? These are all modular homes sitting there. So hopefully now we can get a little more orientation. So we're coming back over towards the bridge. Again, this is over San Carlos Island, and we're starting to come up towards the Naughty Parrot Dock Bar, and eventually there to the right is the San Carlos RV Park. That's what's there sticking south of San Carlos Boulevard on the right-hand side of your screen. Yep, so all those are modular homes as well, and I can only imagine that water got into there. We're swinging back around. You're seeing Estero Pass right again to now the west there of San Carlos Boulevard. And we're swinging back around. That's the Matanzas Pass Bridge, and the widespread devastation up and down Fort Myers Beach is just considerable. More rescue helicopters just making their way along Fort Myers Beach. And
just while we're seeing that and talking about it, I don't know if anyone on Fort Myers Beach that's stranded there is watching us or listening to us right now, but perhaps you have friends or family that you're in contact with. If you are stranded and you want to get off the island and you want to be rescued, we are being told that you need to go to the Publix and 7-Eleven there on Estero Island And that is where those search and rescue teams will take you, and they will take you off of the island. So please, again, Publix and 7-Eleven is where you want to go to do that. They are working so hard to rescue hundreds of people. This still, as we are going into day 2 of covering Hurricane Ian, seems surreal to all of us here who are watching these pictures. It's just devastating for Southwest Florida.
On the upper right-hand side of your screen is the Big Carlos Pass. On the south side of that, you start to get into Lovers Key State Park.
Right, so this is headed down towards the Bonita area.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Lovers Key, some very iconic locations. Zooming in, oh
wow.
Wow.
So if you're just joining us, you're looking at live images. We have a helicopter over Fort Myers Beach area where we have been looking at the devastation and destruction at Times Square and modular homes, mobile home communities, manufactured homes, they're gone.
Yeah, you can see the channels that the water has cut. I'm going to assume it looks like maybe some kind of emergency vehicle.
It looks like an ambulance.
An ambulance working their way where Estero Boulevard used to be. It doesn't look like it's either that or likely covered with sand. It's covered with sand.
And that's the thing too. Fire crews, search and rescue crews, 911 operators, they're all working there on the islands. You can still call 911. This goes for Sanibel as well, and they're there. So large barges are bringing construction equipment and things to clear the roads and get to people. But some people that have met face-to-face with these search and rescue crews, they get that face-to-face contact and they say, no, I'm good. I want to stay. I don't want to leave my home. And that's what a lot of people chose going into this storm. They didn't want to leave. Is that a pool standing there?
That's a pool, and you can see the concrete, the dirt, the actual earth around the pool was removed by the storm surge. I can only imagine there had to be a house sitting right behind that.
And you have to pray and hope to God that nobody was in that house when this storm was coming through.
We've kind of changed orientation again. The chopper heading back to the north along Estero Boulevard. We're going to try to see if we can recognize a couple of these places from the air. The general direction he's going up Estero Boulevard is heading back towards the bridge. And again, there's a zoomed in look. That is an ambulance working its way up Estero Boulevard that is covered with sand. You can see street signs down there in the distance. It looks like some folks out on bicycles trying to maneuver their way around. So it's good to see that people at least survived the storm. I imagine those people were there during the height of it and did not heed the evacuation warnings. Yeah,
and so the emergency management officials that were talking earlier from the state level were saying at this point, obviously we're looking at the worst and the hardest hit area in Lee County, really in all of Southwest Florida when it comes to this storm. They said Fort Myers Beach was the worst, Lee County was the worst damage that they saw. They said 10,000 people is the number they're going with right now across the board, with people who are unaccounted for, if you will. I don't want to say missing, but they can't get in touch with them. They don't know where they are. Maybe they told someone they were sheltering in place somewhere and then they ended up leaving and they're not there anymore. So they say as we go through these days of search and rescue, that number will go down as they contact some of those people. But you're looking at massive structures, condos, and it looks to me like the roof is just completely off of that.
Yeah, and when you get a roof off a structure like that, the water goes down to every floor. That, unless the structure itself is whole, but the entire hotel or condo, floor by floor, will have to be reconstructed.
So, crews, where do we go from here? If you're just joining us, we are showing you these live images from Fort Myers Beach. And yes, search and rescue is still happening right now. That will happen in 3 phases. They do what they call the hasty search. I would believe that we're past that point right now because we see the ambulances slowly driving down the streets and the helicopters slowly searching over neighborhoods. They're in the primary and secondary. So they do basically, in layman's terms, 3 searches of all of these areas that are devastated to try and get people out, but also they're still bringing stuff in. They're going to these places by boat and barge and bringing what they need to.
If we could just stay with these images, hopefully we're continuing to watch the president. If we could get a little direction on whether or not we want to take the president or if we're recording the press conference or vice versa, just let us know. Until we get that direction, we are going to continue to watch these videos.
Yeah, we're going to stay with this right now. We can absolutely take notes on what the president is saying, and we will put his full speech on social media for you as well. We'll let you know what he says. The federal government obviously is providing a lot of assistance. FEMA is here. They are giving assistance right now to 13 different counties across Florida. If you want the website where you need to register, it's disasterassistance.gov. I want to give you this phone number as well, 1-800-621-3362. That's the phone number you want to call for federal emergency management. Take some pictures of the damage. If you are there, document it, because you are going to need that to get the assistance from FEMA. Already 34,000 people have registered for assistance from the federal government. Obviously, the state is going to be helping out as well, but we have a long road to recovery. You can see construction equipment there. It looks like a bulldozer pushing sand off of the streets.
Yeah, as they get those front loaders out there trying to make Estero Boulevard passable for first responders and to get the rescue efforts underway. This is why they do not want people even attempting. That's why they're not letting people on the island, because it's impassable right now. It takes heavy machinery in order to get these roadways clean. And if I had my geography right before the helicopter was able to zoom in, we're on Estero Boulevard down just before Big Carlos Pass, before you cross the bridge over to Lovers Key State Park. You've got the Marina Towers and Yacht Club there to the right of where this front loader is continuing to remove debris. There are several condominiums there. There's a rather large beach, or I should say there was a large beach on the south side of the island. We'll have to see how much of that was left, but the devastation doesn't just end at Fort Myers Beach itself near Times Square. It obviously has extended all the way down the island.
Yeah, so the other thing, as we're seeing construction crews and bulldozers pushing sand off the roadway there, it makes you think, okay, they're working to make the roads passable, which makes you wonder, okay, is the bridge passable? The governor said that they have inspected 800 bridges across Southwest Florida. The only two we know that have collapsed and are destroyed, if you will, are the one on Matlacha leading to Pine Island, and then the one leading to Sanibel, the causeway. We haven't heard yet about the Matlacha Pass Bridge. I've heard it's not safe to go over, that people should not be driving over it, but it is going to be inspected by structural engineers, and once we get information on what that bridge looks like, we haven't heard the specifics on damage.
Yeah.
We'll have a better idea, but I don't think they're going to let people on the island for quite some time.
I don't think so. Even the Big Carlos Pass Bridge that takes you into Lovers Key, it just makes you wonder what kind of shape it's in. So the chopper has turned views. Now you're getting a wide view all the way up towards the top of the island there where Fort Myers Beach sits. As you turn right on San Carlos Boulevard, that takes you up to Summerlin. That's on the upper right-hand side of your screen, and the devastation is mind-boggling. Amy, look how far inland there in the island. You can see the water has moved up into some of these facilities, and just really trying to get a handle as the chopper's doing. What I was looking at, it seemed like a pile of debris there in the corner.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out specifically where are they still over Fort Myers Beach? Yeah.
We're down here kind of where the new Pincher sits, and we're starting to move northbound on Estero Island. As he zooms out here, that's the Estero Bay Preserve, and you can see the boats that were picked up and pushed over into the mangroves. You can easily count 6, 7, 8 boats there that have been pushed up there into the drier sections of the preserve.
So, you know, as we are dealing with this devastation, there are going to be so many people who need assistance with shelter and food and water. And just know that the National Guard is setting up, as we speak today, they do plan to open in Lee County 8 community pods, and they will be serving food and water over the next couple of days. From there, we learned from the governor that because of just the devastation we're seeing and how many people are going to need help here in Southwest Florida, they're going to set up these mass feeding kitchens where they're going to provide hot meals to people like the people from this area on Fort Myers Beach who need, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner provided to them, who need a place to stay, who don't have a home to go to anymore. So when we get those locations, we just heard from the Lee County government that they are working on opening those 8 locations. We, of course, will pass that information on to you. We will make sure that it's on our social media sites, on our app, on our website, and keep you up to date on the latest with that. We are going to continue to monitor our live feed here from the helicopter on Fort Myers Beach as they are continuing search and rescue and trying to find people who might need assistance. If you need help, you should call 911. And if you are on Fort Myers Beach or know someone who is, you should go to the Publix and 7-Eleven so that they can help you to get off of the island.